quarantine, I feel like you've always been like super woke and you always know what's going on. So I'm like, did it affect you in any way at all, or were you like prepared for this in a way?
Prepared for the quarantine? Nah, nah. A lot of. Hi, DJ Rhea.
Yeah, shout out to
um,
Rhea, Ready.
no, I mean a lot of opportunities. Just things was like 2020 was looking great, and then next thing you know, this happens, and then then we're in the situation. But what I did was I made sure I used it wisely, the time wisely, connecting with new people. I have like every day I'm speaking to a lot of people, and I tell them, I say it's a great time because, during the course of our regular life before this happened, you try to reach out to people, try to build with people, and everyone's busy. They have so many things going on, but now everybody's stuck in the house. I tell everybody, no one's busy now. I mean, you may have kids and all that, but other than that, you have a lot more time to regroup, process things that you didn't get to get done. You are able to get it done now. I know a lot of us procrastinated a lot of things. He was like, all right, let me get it done. And, when it comes to the business side, of course, unfortunately, a lot of us lost, projects and gigs, and, now it's our time to, like I said, regroup, maybe some things towards our business. Maybe you say, what, let me add this, let me incorporate this. Some people might not have incorporated their business and now they can do it. Or there's so many things that, we can accomplish now, and also building with others. And right now I'm in the midst of developing projects and connecting with a lot of people and being prepared. So it's, preparation, development, and being prepared for the future.
I love that. See, and I knew you were going to use this time wisely, even though it was something that was completely unexpected.
Yeah.
I do want to say thank you so much because I feel like you've been a huge part of like my career and my growth, and you're very, very knowledgeable. So thank you for
Yeah.
everything.
Oh,
And
no problem.
yeah, it's
You're
so
welcome.
true. I'm like, you
Yeah.
know so much. So, I gotta get into what was your start in the music business? How were you so knowledgeable to begin with?
Oh man, the music business. Um, I told myself a lot of things that I know. I was lucky enough that I through the years I met different people and had different type of mentors and people that I was able to grasp a lot of knowledge from. But I really studied. I had family members that were in the business years ago, and when I started in the business, I started basically just helping someone out. And then it grew to me producing showcases and different types of events, and then and one day an artist asked me, "Hey, I like the way you move. Can you manage me?" I was like, That's not. I don't have any experience." I said, "Let me get back to you on that." Did my research, spoke to some people, and I said, "You know what? Let me go ahead and do it." And through the years, I read a lot, I watch a lot, I really study, I pay attention, and yeah, it's an evolution because from when I started to where it is now, it's totally different. Obviously, those who were before me, they see my time is different, and now it's even different, and it's always growing. I say within every 3 to 5 years, there's like a new era, it's a new change.
That's so true. I want to shout out to the people on the live. Shout out
Yes,
Leah, uh, Lily, Rhea, Bernie B59, Urban News, Lost in the Music Enterprise. And
urban news.
I love the fact that you said that because, from the outside looking in, because I don't do management, right? I
Mhm.
do see music changing over and over again. So it's funny that you even said that because I always wondered, like, with management, is it really similar? Like, I always wondered, was it like no matter what the music changes, no matter how the beat changes, is it the same process? So it's really interesting to hear you say that and that it actually does make a difference for you.
Yeah, it's understanding the landscape. When I started and the way I move, a lot of people said that I wasn't built for this era. I was built for the '90s. I was built for the earlier era because of the way I move and how I paid attention to detail in a lot of ways. So like now, it's like for instance, I know I'm confident I could pick talent. I'm confident I can understand the markets and doing different things in the music industry. I worked in radio promo. I've done a lot of different things. So that being said, the only frustration now is about streaming era, social media. It's frustrating because you can have a talented artist, any type of talent, an actress or whatever, but they care about social media followings, they care about numbers. Artist development is lacking, so that really kills it, because now, back then, you could bring an artist to a label, or I'm not saying it was easy, but you could bring them there and they'll say, okay, cool, this person has talent, they have more of a marketability, a little bit of talent, but we can make it work, and they'll put the investment in. So that's what it was then. Now it's more so they want the finished product, no, maybe close to, and then they'll take it the rest from there. So that's the frustration when working with talent.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense because I always wondered that too. Like, so if somebody doesn't have 100,000 followers, what do you do with them? Does that mean they can't get a record deal? Does that mean they can't get far until they get the numbers up? Like, what
Ah.
happens?
Well, you just got to keep working and find out ways. As you go along, you start learning different things. Then when at management, you got to know your client. Like some clients, they could fit that independent route. And some other clients, some artists, they're just strictly creatives and they don't really care about the business much. And those are the ones you put to the labels. But it's all about you have to understand your client. In the midst of it, it's just building them up. My philosophy of management is always teaching them the business. Like I'm like, I want them to know as much as possible. So I'm not trying to be the one that's like, there's some managers that people may say that, try to keep them like dumb so that you could just do whatever you want with them. My thing is teaching them the business, having them understand, because, we'll speak later on, but, that's why I created my show, The Industry Standard, because there's always been a battle between the business and creative. The creatives thinks that the business, oh, you guys aren't creatives, why are you having any input? But the creatives they want to make money off of what they create. So there should be some type of compromise, and I'll always be some type of partnership and understanding. So that's the difficulties when it comes to the artists, the creatives, and in business.
Yeah, see, and I'm glad you brought all of that up. Shout out to everybody in the live. I love you guys. Like everybody that tuned in. Ty Cole.
Tyco TV, there you go.
Yes, Capo, Escobar, Crystal, Porter
Yeah, Scott
family.
Sharma from Brook Brothers, one of the most talented producer duo in the game. AJ, my brother.
Yes, we love you guys. Yeah, so let's get into the industry standard. First of all, I was so happy you decided to do a live because people don't know. I could literally come to you about anything and you know the answers, or you'll be like, well, try this, or you'll tell me where to go, like something like that.
Yeah.
So the fact you made that is so dope because you give so much knowledge for free. You just
Yeah.
give it. So what made you want to start the industry standard? What was that moment? Were you on your couch and this came up? Like, I want to know all about it.
People for years, they kept saying, "Oh, you should do your own podcast. You should do what I was doing on mostly Facebook during a few years ago. I would just post. This is the thing. What I started seeing is a lot of us would have our issues, and then a lot of people would start going on social media and complaining and subbing each other and all that. I'm like, okay, I have my issues. There's people I don't, no, I won't say they don't like, but everyone has their issues. So I said, instead of me going on complaining, let me just give out information. Now, I'm not saying I know it all, but a lot of information I gave mostly was common sense. You can do the research, but I would put it in the context of, hey, this is what you need to do. And being a manager, what happened was I started noticing, and I always say this, I'll continue to say this, that the entertainment industry is the only industry where you could go in with no qualifications. Right. So now it's an overflow of people that just run into the entertainment industry because they don't want to have a 9-to-5 job, whatever the excuse is. And what happens is that those who take particular roles, management, publicists, as an artist, those who produce shows, those who do a lot of things, they are very important roles into an artist's life. So when I was representing talent, I would bump into these individuals and I started noticing that they really don't understand that, for instance, if you're producing a showcase, a lot of people don't know there's a difference between a showcase and a concert, and that was a big thing. A lot of times they would merge the two and they don't realize that's very detrimental to the artist because they don't understand the difference. Now, I spoke with a lot of them and I understood their point of view, but I always say when you have a platform and you're providing a platform for others, you want to try your best. You may not have the best funding, you may not have all the resources in the world, but you want to try your best to bring in the right personnel to be involved to help elevate those who are on your platform. Like if you have a showcase, it's not the artist's show, it's your show. So I always used to like really champion that, and they didn't understand. Like they said, no, the artist should be able to bring 5 people. If you are a new artist, you're not going to have a fan base. Your platform as a showcase job is to help bring awareness to them and possibly help them grow a fan base so they can be at a position to have a real concert. If you just rely on artists that just started a few weeks ago, they're not, then they say, oh, they should be able to bring friends and family. I've always said this. Friends and family are fans by default. They're only a fan, not real fans, because they support you because you're their family member, you're their friend, so they'll show up. That's not a true fan. A true fan is someone that believes they know you, never met you, but they believe they know everything about you. Like I'm the biggest Michael Jackson fan, never met the man, but I can tell you a lot. I'm a fan. So if anyone says anything bad about him, I'm defending them. So that's a fan. That's someone who's that really supports. So they used to do that, and I would go to these showcases, and I'm like, it's not good. I've been to showcase that 30 artists perform, and I'm like, what was wrong with you? And then I've seen when artists would say, and they use this as their own strategy, which in my opinion doesn't work unless you do it a certain way. The artists will go produce their own showcase to have other artists perform. Cool gesture, but you can clearly see that was a way for them to, I've seen it where they want to go jump on and perform. And I used to take them to the side and say, hey, look, if you're providing a platform for others, that's not your time. You can host it or have someone else host it, but your job is to produce it and it's a platform you create for them. Don't say, oh, this is for us and for the culture, because that doesn't happen. That's the blind leading the blind. Doesn't make any sense unless you have a structure where, hey, you might want to produce it, maybe fund it, or maybe bring all the resources to it. But ultimately, you do not want to be involved because it doesn't help. Because now, what is the agenda? Is it for you or is it for them? So I used to see a lot of crazy things, and I noticed that, especially in New York, we were trying to find our way. So I wasn't upset, but after a while it got frustrating because you started seeing that it was, it broke down, like those choosing to be managers. I say that role is a very important role. And I believe that if you want to be a manager, that you should understand the business and don't just take on that role just because, that's my guy, a friend of mine. And that's fine. You're friends. Cool. But make sure you understand. You're not going to know everything. You're going to always learn something in life, not just in the industry, but you want to make sure that if you take on that role, that you understand that you have someone's career, someone's life, because usually if you're managing a talent, that's their livelihood, that's their life, that's what they aspire to do. They've dreamt this since a kid. It's a psyche, it's a mentality that they have that you are managing and you're representing. So you got to take that seriously. And a lot of people take on these roles as a publicist, a manager, or different types of roles. They don't understand how significant and important that role is. It's not about and here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this in the show, but I'm gonna say this here. A lot of people they think that the role is just if I bring you some opportunities, I get my 20%. That's not management. Management is not about the 20%. Management is about you want to be there to help guide, advise, and represent that talent and do everything that you can to help elevate their career. Not doing everything on your own. A lot of managers, people think that I got to be wearing many hats. Yes, at times you do, because depending on where the talent is, they may not have the funding. You may have to do little other things, and you may have to manipulate things, but you always want to try to bring in the right people. For instance, if I'm managing a talent, I'm not a journalist. I'm not going to try to write an article. I'll go to Sakara. I'll say, hey, can you write this? If I need editing, if I need something else, if you can do it yourself and have those skills, that's right. But I always believe in as they say, a village raise a child. So I use that philosophy as bringing in a village to help this talent out the best way we can.
See, and this is what I'm trying to tell people. This is why it makes sense that you started the industry standard. Because honestly,
Yes.
I don't understand management. I've had people ask me to manage them or do publicity work, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm not comfortable. But I'm so glad, because even what you're saying right now, it makes sense about the showcase. Yeah, it's kind of weird because the person goes on and then 5 to 10 people leave automatically at the end.
Yeah.
of their performance, because they're there just because this person dragged them out. It's not like everybody's coming out just to really be there and hear the new music. So
Yeah.
I love that. I also want to ask you,
Oh, so just keynote. I don't manage anymore. I don't manage anymore. I'll never say I wouldn't do it, but as of now, I'm focused, which we'll go on later in the show, on my, I've evolved into a producer, so we'll go more in detail than that. But like people still reach out to me, like, no, at this point in time, I don't. That's not really, I love doing it. I'm not saying I would never do it again, but it has to make absolutely sense. But using my managerial skills and other skills I've acquired through the years, not just in this industry, in other industries, to doing what I'm doing today, which I love. Objective, because you asked me before, how did I do the industry standard? Industry standard was mainly because even though I don't manage, I still kind of consult or like help out. Like, I don't care. Listen, I once had someone give me a lot of knowledge that I'm still using today, and I don't mind helping anyone, especially like self. Like I always told you, I see you out there busting your ass every day, going hard. You really want this. So if I see you going hard, I don't mind. I give you everything I know. I don't care. It's because I always say it's a trickle down effect, right? Because if you're in a different role, but if you don't know what you're doing or you're confused or whatever case may be, then it puts more strain on my job or anyone else's job. And I don't want. And when you're working hard, you really want something. If I could help and connect you or give you some information here, it makes me feel good. Like, hey, whatever information I know, I'm not saying I know it all. If I can give it out, fine. So the industry standard more so it started because I was meeting some aspiring managers and people, and like I said, a lot of people don't understand about managers. It's not, the show's not all about management or artists. It's more so I wanted to bring the perspective from both angles. My thing is really bridging the gap from the business and the creative, in front of the camera, behind the camera. And I will speak on many different roles, and speaking on entrepreneurs, just speaking on many aspects of the entertainment industry. For example, next episode, we'll speak more on the entrepreneur, freelancer, independent contractor. What does that mean? Because a lot of people are doing things freelance and they aren't a real business. They don't really understand like how you can move. So every week, and it'll be every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. And I did it that day because it's industry night. Tuesday night's industry night, and I put it to one day because a lot of times we give a lot of information. I would love a lot of people to be able to consume the information, really think about it, and then have a great time and prepare for the next week. But it makes things a lot easier. But yeah, so that the industry standard is mainly just perspective from my experience in the industry, giving a lot of information. Those who have questions, I can help out, connect, and also bring people like yourself and others who are doing very well and can help bring their knowledge. So, and the slogan is bringing the standard back to the industry because we need some standard. That's the key.
That's a fact. Like a lot of people don't know this. So I used to go to a lot of events, right? And Kyree is the one that helped me because I was like, all right, cool. I'm around all these famous people. That's wonderful. But like, what do I do with it? Like, I was confused at one point. I'll be honest, because I wasn't making videos. I wasn't necessarily writing about it. What is one piece of advice you want all artists to know that you just feel like it's a common standard that you wish was, common for everybody to know?
Let's see. I would say learn the business. Learn as much of the business as possible. Because in 2020, there's no reason why a lot of things are still happening. And, me, how like I told you, asked me how I gain too much knowledge. I read and I watch interviews. I watch so many different things. There's no way that I'm going to see at least 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people say the same thing. And then I'm going to go do the same thing. Okay. So if you're an artist and you're, in any type of contract that is presented to you, don't sign it until you have an attorney or a reputable attorney. Make sure you understand, don't just sign stuff. There's little things like that. It's truth be told. And here's the thing. Through the industry, through the history of the industry, all the artists, all the greats didn't know everything, right? They were talented in whatever that they did, sing, dance, whatever. They didn't know everything. They had someone there. So I would say, hey, learn the business, get the right team, trust your team, respect your team, and you'll be fine. All right. So just because you're the artist, your manager, your stylist, your attorney, your publicist, your DJ, anyone that's your hair, your makeup, anyone, your producer, anyone, respect people, understand the business, not just the industry, music industry, the music business, actual business, the fundamentals. Like my last episode, I went on professionalism. Like professionalism is key. And in the industry, like I said, there's so many different walks of life. We have people who are highly educated and lived a good life or lived a better life, and those who come from very different backgrounds and it's mixed in. So you'll meet people who might have done some time. You'll meet people who went to college and was in this fraternity or sorority. You'll meet people in the middle who are just trying to find their way in life, and they come in. But it's a melting pot. So I've met so many different people, and there's so many different personalities. But at the end of the day, professionalism, professional courtesy, little things like following up, the communication, following up. If you inquire a service and you can't afford it or whatever your reason is, if the answer is no, please just reach out to the person who you inquired and say, hey, I can't do this right now. I'll get back to you when I can. Let that person know so they don't sit here and wait and say, is this a potential client or not? So they can move on with their day and move on to other clients and other things. Just a little thing. Artists, if you are attending an event, the yo fam, what's up, son, the yo bro, the all this. When you approach somebody, A&R, a journalist, or anyone like that, even another artist, approach them as if you were at a job interview for a 9 to 5. Like, it's all about how you present yourself, because how you present yourself in life, period, is how people perceive their first perception of you. So if you come at them, they're gonna be like, he's not trying. Then they'll be like, I don't want to deal with this. But if you say, hey, come humble, no matter who you know, who you did a feature with, who's in your family, no one cares. If you're an upcoming talent, even if you are a successful talent, never lose your humbleness, never lose your respect. You never know, because what they say is what goes up must come down. So on your way down, while you might be higher than me, but I'm going up and you're going like this, I hope that you stay here and I meet you there. I hope I meet you at the top. But things happen. There's an evolution. Things happen, and you might go here, and I'm at a certain point. I may be a little bit higher. You might need me to get right here. So I always say that, in me dealing with a lot of talent, I don't manage now, but I do work with talent in other capacities, which we'll speak later. But I do work with them in other capacity, when branding, more on content, and a lot of other spaces. And I'm starting to see things on another perspective as a person who provides a service, because I was more so of the guy, the manager, and getting and working with those who provide service. And now I'm on the other side. So now I see another angle and another frustration. Yeah, but that's pretty much, just learn the business as much as you can as possible. And here's a key thing. Unfortunately, truth be told, a lot of talent, a lot of upcoming talent aren't ready for management. So I would always inquire that if you're not ready for management, you still need development and you still need help. I would inquire that you reach out to someone who knows the business or who is more aware than you are, and ask for them to consult you to get you to that point that you are ready for management. That's a key thing. A lot of times artists feel that, okay, I got records. People say I like my music, but now I need management. No, not really. You might get a publicist before a manager, because a publicist's job is to help bring awareness to your record, your project, and things you have going on. A manager, some artists, some actors, some people, talent, period, aren't ready for that, because they don't have much for the manager or management company to manage. So you want to make sure you put yourself in a position. And how you do that is, hey, you can go to someone who's a manager or someone who has experience and say, hey, I need help. Is there any way you can consult me? And take care of them too. Don't just act. I hate the word pick your brain. Can't stand it. Don't say pick your brain. If you want to learn the business, you don't have to be in talent. If you want to become a blogger, a journalist, an A&R, a producer, or any other role in the industry, and you want to learn it, I would suggest, hey, reach out to someone who does it and say, hey, I would like to learn the industry. You have two ways. Either you can just say, hey, I'll pay you for your time, tell me everything you know, Or if you don't have the funds or not, reach out and say, do you need any help? Assist them, intern for them, learn the business, be in the midst of what's going on, see their day to day, and you can learn. That's what I did a lot of times. I helped people. I just, you need help, whatever you need, and that's what I did to learn. And I would say that was the best way of learning. A lot of times people don't want to intern, people don't want to assist, they just want to just jump into it. But that definitely helps.
Wow, that's really dope, and really great advice for a lot of people. And one thing you did mention was like getting a team together, respecting your team, and having the right people. So, yes, let's get into First Sight International. It's
Yeah.
super dope because you have photographers, videographers, stylists. You literally have everything all under your company. So it's like a one stop, and you can
Yeah.
get everything you need. So tell me, why did you come up with this? What was the process like to get so many people involved as well?
Well, when I started the company, I started with my lovely wife, who is a celebrity stylist, Sarah M.K. Paris.
Yes.
At first it was an all around entertainment company, like full service company. And what it was, we did management, PR, we worked with brands, we did content, we did a lot of different things. During last year, I wound up cutting everything down and focusing strictly on the production aspect of it because that was doing very well as I fell in love with that. And I think that even though I don't manage, I wanted to still help in other capacities where, helping out with branding. We work with artists and, signed artists, work with athletes, professional athletes, work with actors and actresses. And, while acquiring my team, that simply happened by just, I was a natural connector network. I've met so many people throughout the years, and a lot of production personnel was reaching out saying, hey, if you ever need any help, I just built relationships with them and collected their information, and I wound up building through the years a roster. Now I have over 300 personnel, and I can produce any type of content. If you need a professional shoot, music video, a film, a commercial, any type of branded content, a TV series, pilot, anything in that nature, and we can produce that for you, high quality. I have all different types of levels. I have Emmy-winning, Emmy-nominated directors, and it's just you build the relationships. And I was able to acquire, and the great thing about my company is First International. A lot of everyone is it's diverse. I have people from other countries, so we can produce internationally and domestically, and here in New York, and LA, and we can do so much. So right now it's just we want to build quality. We want to really be a company that promotes and really produces quality and content, and what we do with the aesthetic. See, here's the thing too. A lot of people in the industry, a lot of people pick up a camera. A lot of people say, I do this. I'm a stylist. I'm a photographer. I'm this, I'm that. And they just do it. But it's all about, when you have clients, you want to give them the best quality and the best aesthetic as possible. You want them to be proud and happy. And unfortunately, a lot of clients may not really know and understand. So you want to be able to consult them and let them know, like, this is how it is. And the best way. So we want to definitely, make sure that we produce high quality content, high quality photos, and work with all types of people. So if you're an artist, especially when we deal with artists, right now it's about branding an artist. So when we work with artists and the artists that we've worked with, for working with us organically, they were able to, their brands grew. And this is just, it was amazing. Like, they were getting partnerships, like real partnerships. And, we've had things, our content has been on commercial, like on television. Our stuff has been on, like our campaigns have been on billboards throughout New York. So, let me see. Tracy say, "Yeah, I like it. Yeah, take pride. Yeah, that's what it is." And my wife, she's European. She's from France, so she's like, "Oh, this is the French way. We don't play that." So, so she's like, "Oh, we're gonna make sure this is that." And we want to give great quality, and do things the right way and the professional way. That's the key thing, the professionalism. And being a Black-owned business, we want to make sure that our quality is top notch.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Shout out to everyone in the live, official
Yeah, shout
M7,
out
fashion
Tracy. Thank
guide,
you for tuning in.
Tracy. Definitely. Thank you guys. Wow, Kyrie, that is so huge. Like, So you mentioned a little bit about like the campaigns, Billboard, having certain clients,
Hmm.
actors. So I really want to get into what do you feel like is your favorite project that you made to date? Or like maybe name three or a production that you worked on. I know it's hard. I know.
Yeah, favorite project. I think the coolest one was when we worked with Essentia
Nice.
water. If you guys know that water, it's like the big bottle. It's matter of fact, right here.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, I feel like you was shaking that.
You know, we get a little sponsor, but yeah, it was great. It was a great opportunity when you have your work done and you see it on the commercial. It was done during the NBA Finals last year. But we had it in Times Square. We've had it in different parts of New York and other parts of the country. I'm blank right now of the street, but we had it there right around. It was right around the block from Spring Studios. But it was an amazing job when you drive past it and be like, wow. So that's a dope thing. That's a dope.
That's
And
so
I
cool.
give most of the credit to my wife. My wife, she does an amazing job. She's brought in a lot of the clientele. You know, it's all her. I'm just there. I'm just helping.
I love it. Shout out to
Yeah.
Sarah.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, that's huge. Congratulations. That's huge. I know it was last year, but still, that's super, super big. Like, what? I would be doing like cartwheels, you know, like
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's so huge. So, for you, do you have a goal? Like let's say you've already done commercials though. You've really done everything. Is there anything you haven't done?
Um, I've been working on it for years, but things take time. So
Mm,
my ultimate goal is to be one of the top and the best producer that I can be.
mm,
And I want to have a lot of television, a lot of content on television, a lot of network television shows, feature films. I want to really have a lot, and the type of content I want to produce, all types of content, of course, but more so when it pertains to our culture and us. I want to do I'm a big history buff, so I want to do a lot of a lot of content that reflects on us, not slave movies. I want to do a lot of. I wanted to do Madam C. J. Walker for the longest time. I've always said that if I ever had the opportunity, I wanted to do her and do her in a different light. But yeah, I want to feature films and all types of content. I want my company to be in a point where we're producing continuously. It can be quality photo shoots and still working with artists and doing quality music videos and still doing branded content, working with major companies and producing quality content for products and brands. And since I have so much personnel, I want my company to grow to a point where we're able to tackle a lot of different types of content, but be that respected company that
mm.
gives great quality work, has consistency, and we can provide a lot of people opportunities, either crew members, actors, and to just I definitely want to do that. Yeah, that's the ultimate goal. Yeah,
That is so dope. And I feel like with the amount of people that you have on board, it's
yeah,
like you will always be able to produce like the best things. Like that's so cool. And have a sponsorship for Essentia. Like what? That's like some of the best water. Like seriously, I love Essentia.
yeah. Love it, love it.
So I really want to get into three qualities you feel like a person has to have to be, let's say, a part of your brand and everything you have going on. Because of course, for you to be as successful as you are, there are certain standards and qualities that come with it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
So
qualities.
yeah, like
Um,
three qualities. If somebody wants to be down with like, First International.
if they want to be down with us, of course, professionalism. You need to be professionalism. We qualities. Um, let me see. Go getter. It's usually you cut it down to three. Those who have
Okay.
a dope, take initiative, creatives, um, passionate. We want those who are passionate about their craft. Um, Passion, hardworking, of course,
Right.
consistent. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of hard to trickle it down, but yeah.
I love that. Shout out to Sarah who just joined.
Yes, Sarah K. Paris, my lovely wife. Thank you for tuning in. Another good friend, Mickey Boom, talented stylist, talented.
That's so
Brooke
dope.
Brothers, one talented production duo, doing a lot of amazing things in television and film and music. A lot of amazing things.
That's so dope. Yeah, shout out to everybody that's here so far. So, what do you think, right? Would say if we want to, I don't want to narrow it down to three anymore because you made me feel bad when I said three.
It's
I'm gonna,
hard. It's hard.
right, I'm gonna narrow it down to five. Okay.
Okay.
What do you think are the top five things that the industry needs to be sharing out to like the new people? Because one of the things I like, let's say, for example, me, I look at money. Like, I feel like nobody knows how much to charge. They don't know how much money they're worth. They don't know if they're charging too much. All of that. So, like, for you, from your standpoint, what are five valuable topics that you feel like people really need to get into?
Oh, yeah. It's kind of, all right, so I'll give a preview because I'm going to break that down.
Oh,
I'm
you are?
definitely going to break that down on the industry standard every Tuesday, 10 p.m. On IG Live. So what is a five? So you want me to speak on like how much you charge and all that stuff?
Well, we could get into the topics first, and if you want, you give like a brief thing, not
Yeah,
not in,
let me know.
yeah, but yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So for freelancers, how much you charge and how would you know?
yeah,
Basically how that happens is you kind of you can research whatever field that in. You can try to do the research yourself, depending on the role. Sometimes on Google they'll give you like an S. You can see numbers, but when you first start out, you have to be very flexible. You can't just charge the biggest price because you don't have that much experience and you're not really sure on what you're doing. So you can't just sit there and say 10K. You got to be realistic sometimes. It depends on the role. Um, what you want to make sure happens is that I always say, do you do things for free? Depends on what it is, but I would say you want to make sure that maybe in the beginning, if let's say you're assisting someone, as long as you get fed, depending on how far you go, maybe your transportation is taken care of. But if it's something where you're at a level where you've been doing it for a while, but you're still trying to figure out how you get paid, you want to make sure that if you're a first-time entrepreneur, that you can pay your expenses, your home expenses. So you make sure if you know your rent, your home bills, your phone, I don't know, your cable bill. If you know that those things, and then you estimate that's how much you want to make sure that when you get paid, you can cover your rent, your expenses, and things that you need. And in the beginning, you want to make sure that's what you cover. Then when you get more things, more accurate, more things happening, then you can add more because you're more valuable. You can add more things. Of course, you want to make sure if it requires you, depending on the role. Like you're not speaking specifically, I'm speaking in a general sense.
mm,
You want to make sure that in business period, make sure that you are registered, you are actual business. Make sure that you understand that part first, and then you get your money in because when tax time comes, with many different, it's a long story, but it goes deeper. But you want to make sure you have that. But Mickey Boone said you calculate your expenses first. That is really, and that's how you can kind of determine, okay, how much I can get paid. But then when depending on the role, you may need assistance. You may need help. Your transportation. You want to know what business expenses are. So yeah, you have your personal expenses, but you also have business expenses. You want to make sure. So if you're doing per project type situation, you want to make sure it's enough to cover your expenses, where it's travel, food, of course. If you're, let's say, you're a stylist, you may need things to inquire. Dry cleaning and if you need assistance, anything in that nature, you need to be able to understand that budget can take care of everything. But there's levels to everything. So when you get the higher level, the more work that will come, the more money that you would need. And when you understand that, then that makes things a lot easier. It's not easy. To this day, some people trying to figure out, okay, how much should I charge? And again, when you're a freelance, here's the thing. When you're a freelancer, when you're an independent, this is what I'm going through in my episode, but you're an independent contractor. So you need to understand that you have to be firm, still flexible, but firm, and understand that, hey, you have responsibilities to take care of. So don't just be like, oh, okay, I'll do for free. depending on the situation, depending on and if that project or situation can benefit you and help, especially in the beginning, sometimes you have to make a lot of sacrifices to get you to that point. So in the beginning, don't think you can just walk in and just do whatever you want. You know, you have to just gradually grow until you get to that point where you can make your demand. Like I'm 20K, that's it. You know, or I'm 50, whatever the number is. But you have to have things that validate that and make sense. Yeah. Oh, and also consult with other people who are maybe at a higher level if they're willing to help. And that's when you said earlier about why am I so open and helping? Because yeah, like people get to a certain level and they forget where they came from. And me, I don't care how big I get. If especially like yourself, if I see you out there busting your ass and you working hard and you doing the best that you can, and you say, "Yo, Kyree," like you came to me and say, "Yeah, I'm doing everything I can. What else can I do?" And I'm like, "Hey, try this, try that." I have no problem doing that. It's not going to hurt. Especially our people, we get nervous like, oh, if I help this person will steal my client or this person will get bigger than me. And I'm like, no, it shouldn't matter because, you know, it's like your success is based on people around you, right? So if you're successful and people around you aren't doing anything and they're not growing, then that's not great. But if everyone around you is successful, now there's different levels of success. I'm not saying everyone is at equal value, but you want to make sure that people are doing good around you, because if everyone's feeling good around you, then it makes things a lot easier. When you have to hold people and hold people on your shoulders and you have to carry people, then that's when things get stressful and that's when a lot of problems occur.
That's so true. I always love that quote when people say, make sure you're not the smartest in the room. And I always stand by that. I'm like, yep. I don't want to be the smartest in the room because I don't know everything and I'm trying to know as much as I can. So that doesn't make sense.
Yes.
So that's dope. So is there another topic you feel like a lot of people out there are just missing? Like one thing I feel like I hear a lot from people, especially artists, should they try to fit in and go viral? Like the whole hair color thing, change their clothes, or do they stick to themselves? That's a topic I hear a lot.
Okay. My opinion is being on the other side, going viral. No, going viral it's AKA it's equals accident. It's never planned. No, it's never planned. Like there are artists and there are people that have been manufactured, meaning a lot of money's been put in them, and there are things that when someone had a cool, dope idea and it just went viral. It's not, if it's viral, that means accident, which is a good accident, and if you can capitalize on it, that's great. But I would always encourage, if you, and my opinion, and truth be told, there are a lot of people that don't really understand that. And one in the later episodes of my show, what is an artist? There are a lot of people that aren't artists. They're doing it. A lot of them I can automatically tell by listening to a record that you just decided to do it. You didn't. There was no thought process. You did it because a friend was doing it and you wanted to be down. And so, but as an artist to go viral, this is what you do. You learn the business, perfect your craft. You bring in the right people that can come help you elevate your craft and career. If you're an artist, you get the producer, you get a good engineer. A lot of times, a lot of artists like to do it in-house, like they're like do it in their home and they mix and do it themselves. And I always say that sometimes you do not want to engineer your own records because you need someone else with a different ear that might hear something you might. Because sometimes even when we try to hear ourselves, or you know, we think it's the hottest thing, but someone else might hear something different and say, hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? So you want to bring in the right people. And that's when I said earlier about respecting your team. Get a good team around you, respect them, value them, because they help you get to where you are. Once you value the people around you who are there to help you, things are going to be much easier. When you don't value those, and a lot of times with artists, they think that they run to the most popular person. Like you may have a stylist, you have a manager, you have a publicist, you have, you know, hair, makeup. Value those two. Those people are the ones that are there to make you look good. But you know, there's times when they'll get sidetracked and they'll go to you know, someone that's more popular. And this is the key thing I always say. There are a lot of people in this industry, and not everyone is popular. Not everyone's known. You never know who you meet. You might meet someone's cousin. You might meet someone's brother. You might meet someone that is HR for this record label, that's human resources. You might meet someone at an important role at a label, at a different company, or that works with a certain art. You don't know who you meet. So don't think because you meet someone and you don't know them. Don't think because you go on their social media and they have 2,000 followers, but you're going to listen to the person that has 50K or 100K. Don't think that there's more of a value because they have more of a following. There's a lot of, I've met multi-millionaires, and there are people who are very successful that don't have that much followers on social media. So you're not going to listen to them, but you're going to listen to this person because they have more of a following. That means maybe they were marketing the right way, or maybe they just know people, or whatever the case may be. And just because you know a lot of people doesn't mean you know the business. So that I would always say this too: when you're a manager, don't think because you know a lot of people in the industry that you're qualified to be someone's manager. And don't think if you're an artist seeking a manager, oh, this person knows a lot of people in management, he should be my manager. No, because that doesn't mean he knows how to use the people properly. And second, I can have every contact in my phone in this industry, from the highest to the highest. That doesn't mean that I can present you to them, and that doesn't mean that they're willing to work with you. And I can do everything great in the book, but that doesn't guarantee that that the success will come from that. So that's a lot of misconceptions, and that's another point I want to bring to what you're asking. That don't think that followings don't mean anything. I want to say this. Can we please stop buying followers?
Yes.
Like it's blatant. Like, stop buying followers. You can tell there are a lot of people. If there's no way that you have 50K followers, 50K, and I go on your and you post something and only 5 people commented, that doesn't make any sense. And whoever you paid didn't do a great job, because you at least have some bots. At least have 20. I've seen people 50K post a pic and then 5 people comment. Or post a video and 10 people. That's not enough. That's not
true.
enough. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, and I cannot wait to tune into the industry standard so I can continue to learn more. So everybody on the live, thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you follow him, because as you can see, very, very knowledgeable.
I'll try. I'll try. Yeah, so I thank you for having me. I don't do too many interviews. I not even myself. Like, I'm playing the background role. So another reason why I did the show is to expose myself. I know a lot of people. Like I said, you know a lot of people. But I was like, let me bring to light something and get on, because I've never done it before. I said, let me get on in front camera. Let me really help out. People see me, and because I've written stuff, I've posted things, and people don't know. And now let me hear from myself. And then, like I said, an interview from you. And I've done a few interviews, but I was so focused on like my talent, it's y'all shine. But my goal is, even myself, if you have a business or anything, you have to promote yourself. You have to market yourself as well, because now it's all about the marketing and the promoting and the branding yourself, and you are the brand. It doesn't matter. Unfortunately, you might want to stay as the creative, but you have to put yourself out there.
That's a big fact. Thank you so much